Yo, shout out to everybody that's tuned in. You already know what it is, man. Another edition of 1634, the podcast. And I got the one and only beautiful Felicia. A lot of y'all might know her as Camille Page. We did an interview once before.
We did.
On the radio, but...
Twice, actually.
Oh, was it twice?
Because remember second time Angie... Oh, sorry. Angie Stone called in the second time.
Oh, yeah. I was like, that's the real Angie Stone.
Yeah, you know her voice anywhere.
Yeah. So,
Love you, Angie. Sorry.
just an update real quick, you know what I'm saying? How have you been, first of all?
I've been pretty good. Positive. You know, in spite of life's challenges and things, I think we all have been, I guess, going through our own struggles, and I'm just making the best of mine. And so, but I'm healthy and I'm breathing, and so I'm grateful for that.
That's what's up. I always like to start back and then work our way up front. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Felicia is one of them young ladies that I met on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Very popular on Facebook. And you know what I like about your Facebook personality is you want funky acting.
What you mean?
Some of these people they get so much attention that they can come off kind of funky. Like you was never that way. You was like, hey Mo, and you always like really cheerful. You know what I'm saying?
Well, because I respect what you do. I mean, we're alike in you know, a lot of ways, and I consider you one of God's children, so I'm gonna always treat you with kindness.
That's what's up. I appreciate that, and I do feel like I'm one of God's children. You know what I'm saying? Faithful believer. You know, I walk in His footsteps. You know what I'm saying? I gotta give out a shot to my pops, man. I really feel like my pops is the truest to do it as far as who I know. You know, as far as men that serve the Lord. You know what I'm saying? You ain't finna knock him off his square at all. You know what I'm saying? He go pray for you.
He go pray for you.
Yeah. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself. I mean, like, cause I noticed, like, I didn't know that you was as popular as you are until like after our second interview.
Really?
And then I think one time I seen you on the video with my nigga Sacred. I was like, oh, she know people.
Yeah. I do. You know what? It's so funny. You say that you didn't know that I was so popular, but it's crazy as it may sound, it doesn't register to me that I'm popular on Facebook. Like, is it because a lot of people engage with my content that I'm sometimes when they feel like it?
Well, not only do they engage, but you engage back. That makes a big difference. That makes a huge difference. That if I comment on Felicia's post, she's gonna respond.
Yeah, absolutely. Unless you just comment something like outrageous, then I have to ignore you and let the Holy Ghost deal with it. Cause you know, I try to be as positive as I can, and you know very well that social media is just not a positive place a lot of times.
Man, I'm really starting to hate social media. Is it just me?
No, don't, because it's not social media that's the problem. It's the people who abuse social media that's the problem. So we have to just kind of protect our energy, protect our spirit, and maneuver around those people.
I mean, that's true, but I think social media abuse social media. Whoever is behind social media is abusing it.
But those are people.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the people up top, though.
But they are still people. The computer has never harmed anyone. A computer.
Oh, look at her. She's like, they're still people. We know
people.
Mark Zuckerberg is a real person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, so it's not actually the platform that has harmed anyone. It's what people do with the platform. You know, whether it be.
And you know what? I tell people that all the time. Like for people who swear I don't mess with that Facebook stuff. I like just like life. I say Facebook is what you make it.
It is. That's so true. You're absolutely right.
If you don't tolerate no negative BS on your page, then more than likely no negative BS will come to your page.
No, and I used to back in the day. I used to
get negative?
I used to, yeah.
Or used to be negative?
Both.
What?
I know, but I have to be truthful with you, right?
Wait a minute. Being negative and being truthful is not the same thing.
True, but I'm saying I have to tell the truth about my being negative. If that makes any sense, I have to tell you the truth about when I was
This is a very sweet girl right here. So, I'm gonna have to have an example of you being negative.
Like, okay, remember how you said, how people comment, and depending on what they're, I said, depending on what they comment, kind of determines your response. I didn't used to be as patient and understanding as I am. So if people came on my page being belligerent, I would be belligerent back. I'm from Detroit. You're not gonna talk to me any kind of way. But I know Jesus
Black
now.
women always use me.
So,
I'm from Detroit.
I am. Baby, you better know it. I am. Sure am.
Hey, and I found out you a Mustang.
What is that?
Mumford Mustang.
I didn't go to Mumford. I went to Pershing and I went to DSA.
Oh, I thought you went to Mumford.
No, sir. I can't even tell you where Mumford is.
I don't know why I thought that then, or where I heard that from, but I sure thought you was
No.
So a dope girl, huh?
They say I'm a dope girl, but I wasn't in any of the
So you
activities.
just went there.
I literally just went there, did my homework, and went home. That's it.
Was you popular then?
No.
Okay. So when did you start to somewhat get some popularity?
Well, that's not necessarily true. Okay, so I wasn't popular in school just because I'm not the type of person that really likes attention like that, for one. So I'm not like trying to be everybody's friend and all that kind of stuff. Like, no, I'm here for one purpose, to get A's and B's and go home so I can get.
So let's talk about that because
But I was popular on social media, though.
I was going to say let's talk about that because even though you don't seek popularity, it seems like it comes naturally.
Can I be totally honest? I think that in large part, and I could be wrong, but I've always thought maybe it's only because I can sing. Everybody always says I have a sweet personality, and I do, but I don't think that I would be as popular if I didn't sing.
So, and that is something else that stuck out to me, your singing voice. How often do you sing?
I don't sing nearly as often as I did prior to you and I meeting, just because I don't perform anymore. I don't record as much anymore.
Why?
Just because a lot of the things that we talked about before, the whole spiritual aspect and kind of trying to just maneuver around that and get straight to the music. But it's like, it seems that every time I embark on a new music project or a new music direction, weird things start happening. And it's like, it's draining.
What, weird, like trying to take you away from the music?
Weird, like supernatural weird, trying to take me away from the music. I don't know if you know, some dude like tried to break in my house my apartment while I was in there.
No, I read that.
That was like
We gotta talk about this.
crazy.
We gotta talk about this because, on one hand, it could be like real deal. This is what really happened. Or on the other hand, it could be, is she crazy?
Right, and that's another thing yes, absolutely, no, it's funny.
That's what I remember about reading it. That's what I like. Is she crazy?
No, like, you mean the post about the guy?
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Okay.
Like, that seriously happened.
Like what? Like what you mean? Like, can you elaborate a little bit?
Like, I was literally just, long story short, I was in my living room cutting green beans around 9 o'clock at night, and I got
remember it too. I was cutting green beans.
Listen, that was the most one of the most traumatic things I've ever been through. And long story short, the dude knocks on the door, doesn't say anything. I'm like, who is it? He didn't say anything. So he knocks again. I'm like, who is it? He's like, maintenance. I'm waiting for him to say what he wants. I'm like, can I help you? He's like, I need you to come out of the building or whatever. So pretty much everything that you read is what happened. I found out that he wasn't maintenance because I looked out of the window. Thank God I was right there by the window. And the building across the garden, nobody was exiting. Nobody's lights was on, nothing. So I ran to the bathroom, stood on top of the tub, and looked out the front where the parking structure is, and there's nobody exiting any of the other buildings surrounding the parking. So I'm like, this probably isn't the maintenance guy, and it just went totally downhill from there. He started trying to kick my door in while I was on phone with 911.
Wow.
And, I thought I was going to die that night.
Like, could they hear him banging on the door?
Yes, there's a whole police report, case, everything. I literally just got out of court surrounding this.
Oh, they caught him.
No, they never caught him.
Oh wow.
They had a suspect in custody, but because the suspect had keys to the building and lived in the building, they released him, which made it even more like, dude, like what? You know what I'm saying? And one of my neighbors saw the guy. The guy that they had in custody is who my neighbor said that they saw come up to my apartment after knocking on their door first. So my door wasn't the first door that the dude knocked.
Wow. So, it is 2023, and pretty girls carry guns now. You carry a gun?
So no, I've never carried a gun in my life. I never felt like I had to, and I get it. We in Detroit, people are like just on a different time up here, and to some people it's crazy that I don't carry a gun. But I consider myself blessed that I've never had to carry a weapon.
Well, for the record, I don't think you're crazy for not carrying a gun. I haven't carried a gun in 20 years.
That's a blessing.
And I'm in every hood, every situation, every scenario, every block. I ain't carried a gun in 20 years, and I do blame that on my being blessed. I always say, again, my daddy is a minister, and I always say, I know for a fact somebody praying for me.
Absolutely, your angel's on triple time.
Yeah.
Detroit is nothing to play with.
And I host hundreds of people in here, so, and for the record, almost 3 years here, we ain't had one issue. We probably had a half an issue. My chef got knocked off, but my nigga that knocked the chef off came in here and paid for it the next day. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So you've been I guess I don't want to say a shell, but in a shell, you coming out of your shell.
I'm coming out. It was hard, especially after
with that situation. Yeah.
Yeah, and like even thinking about it now, it kind of makes me.
How do you come out of that situation though if no one has been arrested and you don't carry a gun?
You almost don't.
So you pray on it and lay on it.
That's all you can do, because I don't know how far we went into it. The last interview that we did, but like because I have certain diagnoses on my record from all of the supernatural things that I've dealt with in my life, I can't purchase a gun anyway.
Really?
I cannot, and that was another reason why I got a lawyer, because.
So when you say supernatural, you're talking about stuff up there.
Yeah.
You believe in stuff up there?
I've seen the stuff up there that people argue about and wonder about, so I don't even intertwine myself in those conversations. They'll see.
Okay, well, you know me. I just gotta play around with it a little bit at least. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, because I for one believe that there's something up there. You know what I'm saying? I for one believe there's something up there, and let's say Men in Black.
Okay.
What you think of the movie Men in Black?
That's not really as up there though. It's like what we're talking about. That's more believable.
Okay, so
Men in Black are more believable than UFOs or like.
So you think it's aliens amongst us right now?
I know that for a fact, and some of them look like us.
Oh my God!
But
see?
your Bible says that. Your Bible says that. The
I
Bible
mean,
literally says.
again, I'm not a listen. I'm one of them people. If I watch a real good movie, an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie or something, I think one of the last movies, or was it Denzel, when you touch somebody and you get their spirit, and one of those movies is, and everybody kept touching each other, and then everybody had the spirit, this negative spirit or whatever. But I'm just saying to a point that I believe when I see movies like this, the idea came from somewhere.
It absolutely did, and you're right, because even with. That's interesting. I've never seen that movie, but yes, the inspiration does come.
I want to say it was either Arnold Schwarzenegger or was Denzel Washington. One of them two people. It was a movie when they was chasing the spirit, and all he had to do was touch somebody, and the spirit would jump from. You know what I'm saying?
I never saw that.
Are you into movies like that?
I used to be before I actually experienced it in real life, because at that time, like the movie that you're talking about, or like the Poltergeist, Exorcist movies. Before I actually saw the supernatural with my own eyes and was confronted by one of these beings, it was just entertainment for me. So I went in with the same mindset as you. Oh, I'm about to be entertained, have a good time. I can go home and go to bed because it's just a movie. But 2011 at 3 o'clock in the morning, that night it totally changed for me. And so I had to be careful.
Is that the night the man came in the door, or that was something else?
No, the dude that tried to kick in my door was a human being. That happened last year.
Oh, so it wasn't nothing supernatural about that.
No, I mean it could have been, but not to the extent of 2011 when I was confronted by an actual interdimensional non-human being that can defy the laws of physics and gravity.
Okay, so I gotta ask you, like, what type of how did you encounter this? And for the record, I want to say this. I somewhat believe in supernatural stuff, poltergeist, exorcists, as you said. I believe in it. I had a friend that I seen with my own eyes. What I would have called exorcists was in them. And had I not had a witness, nobody would never believe my story. So I definitely believe it.
You told that story.
I did.
Yeah, in our last interview.
So that means true, yeah. Because I never forget it.
It's an experience, so
Yeah.
you can't. It's embedded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Assuming that I can only take what you say and choose to believe it or not, but it appears that it has had a very strong effect on you because of the animal.
Absolutely, because and rest in peace to my nigga G. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I could talk about it now he passed. You know what I'm saying? But me mentioning him right now on this show will definitely continue to keep his name alive forever. You know what I'm saying? He just passed. So after that traumatic experience, let's just say our friendship kind of, I'm not gonna say broke up, but it dissolved. So you know, in time, it take time for things to dissolve.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So me and his friendship kind of dissolved. I don't know what happened to him, which way he went, but we dissolved. And when I found out where he was and what he was doing, he was locked up. You know what I'm saying? And then when I found out what he was locked up for, it was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? And then he got out. You know what I'm saying? Now, this was a situation that, you know what I'm saying, his daughter, which was naturally my goddaughter, was reaching out to me because she was looking for her daddy all the time. So I would reach out to her to check on him. Well, he got out of jail and told the PO people he didn't really want to talk to nobody or whatever. But to make a long story short, he was living in this world by himself, far as I'm concerned.
He probably would. I mean, just based off of what I remember you telling me of the actual experience that you encountered with him, he probably was dealing with a lot of supernatural things that he didn't believe was a reality prior to him dealing with it, and he didn't have anybody to really talk to about it that would not leave him. Like you said, y'all relationship kind of dwindled after that, and the same was true with me. I lost every friend that I had that year, that 2013, when it like hit the fan, when objects was moving on their own in my home and all that. Like every friend that I had, the guy that I had a crush on at the time, we stopped talking. Like my life was ruined that year, and it's never been the same.
So like going to AA or any kind of other meetings or meeting up with any kind of other people, do you think that it's people out here like yourself? Like, do you think it's a bunch of y'all out here?
I know that there are people who experience the supernatural everywhere, but we don't know how many of us there are because we're not just walking down the street like, hey, so let me tell you about what happened the other night. It's not socially accepted to admit that you have experienced the supernatural, for one. For two, I've never met a single soul who has said that they have been confronted by an interdimensional being face to face in the manner that I have. And they have to be out there. I just don't know who or where they are.
So, with this being said, you face this happened.
Like how you looking at my face and I'm looking at your face?
Yeah.
Yes, it happened.
And then what happened? It disappeared, it left?
It appeared and spoke in an unknown language. And then I rebuked it, and it disappeared and began to speak in English, the only language I really know. And then I rebuked it again, and it disappeared. And I've never seen it in that capacity again, or experienced that particular entity in that capacity again. But there has been elements of that night that I have experienced since that night, like waking up, unable to move, unable to speak, feeling strange presences in the room that are not visible.
Of course, with no witnesses, though.
No witnesses, right? And that's why we don't talk about these things, because who's gonna believe you anyway?
So in your mind, and I know, like me, you're a Bible thumper. You read the Bible, right?
I hate that term.
Well,
I'm not a
well,
Bible
I
thumper.
only use it because you know that's what they call us.
I read the Word of God.
Okay,
I do.
okay. And do you think a lot of what you're going through have something to do with that, like your belief?
I am 120,000% positive that it does. But I don't. I cannot say that my experiences are or have happened because I read the Bible. Because at the time that those experiences happened, I hadn't read the Bible. I couldn't read it, and I had tried, but it just wasn't comprehensive for me. I can count on one hand how many times I tried to read the Bible prior to having that confronted or being confronted by that being, um, and it just wasn't. I couldn't relate to it. I didn't have a relationship with God really at that time. Like that month that it happened, I had started, you know, I guess trying to get closer to God, but I wasn't reading the Bible outside of church. I wasn't going to Bible study. I wasn't studying scripture. I wasn't none of that. I just, you know.
Have you been going to church?
Since then, of course, but lately, no.
Oh, okay.
I have not been fellowshipping,
Okay.
but I have been reading the Bible.
All right. So, are you single
I am.
still?
I am.
I mean, you know, again, we did this on the radio. It's a little different on the radio because you could hear us and you can't see us, but now you could hear us and you could see us. And I'm like wondering, how are you fine? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
How do you stay single for so long where I know you can't even go to the gas station without somebody saying, hey, what's your name?
It's difficult. It has its challenges, but I love myself. Like, not in a puffed up way, but I really enjoy myself and I love God. So it's difficult because I'm a loving person and I have so much love that I want to give. But what makes it easy is knowing that a lot of these guys, they don't love the same God that I love. And they don't serve the same God that I serve. So my God has jurisdiction over everything over here. So you're not it for me.
So, with that being said, do you think God will send you somebody? Like, I mean, because again, I've been knowing you a few years now.
Absolutely. It's just gotta have patience while you're in the waiting room. Lord, help us to have patience. It's hard sometimes, isn't
Right.
it? When you want what you want and you want
Do
it
you?
now.
I mean, you might not have a boyfriend or whatever, but do you talk to people potentials?
Not with it. I try. I do try. I don't think I do a good job.
And I believe you probably do try because you're not mean. You're kind of friendly.
I'm very.
And you
I'm a
open-minded.
sweetheart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like you said, if they talking the right talk, they got your attention.
Yeah, but you gotta really be talking right
Right.
and walking right too, because you can't just talk me to death. You gotta show me something.
Right. So walking and talking mean okay, we walking and we talking and we get to know each other, but you ain't touching this until we get married.
Period. Period.
It's still people in the world like that.
And but listen though, if this ain't your thing, by all means, baby, go your way, cause it take a lot to deal with this. Okay? I mean, I'm just saying.
I feel you. I feel you.
I'm not trying to put no unjust pressure on you, boo boo. If you can't handle it, then go be great over there though.
Damn.
Without me.
For sure. I'll buy it. I'll buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the same way. My dad been married for 35 years. It's just not people like that. It's not a lot of people out here in the world.
And
like
that's
that.
what makes it so frustrating because everybody just wants to be just how they are, and that's one of the sacrifices that we make when we really
Social media. So, how much of social media is to blame for the lack of being able to meet the right type of people nowadays?
You know what? It has a large part to do with it, but I say this. Kind of like how people would say back in the day, oh, because of social media, people cheat more now. No, people been cheating. Social media just exposes what's been happening and who people been since before social media. Social media makes people more accessible.
I think people cheat more though. I think people been cheating, but I think, like, let's just say they was cheating at a 60% rate. Now they cheating at a 70, 80% rate now.
They may cheat more, but social media isn't the reason. Social media makes cheating easier, you know, and it makes people more accessible, but social media is not to blame why people cheat. People cheat because that's what they want to do. If social media disappeared tomorrow, they would still be cheating.
So, never in your life have you cheated on anything?
I definitely cheated on like a test before, absolutely for sure.
But never like on a boyfriend.
No, my ex fiance said that I cheated on him when we were on a break, and maybe you can break this down for me. So this was back before I graduated college.
Okay.
And we had broken up. You know, we didn't break up, but I told him I needed a break. You know, because he was abusive and he was a liar and
abusive, like what? Put his hands on you?
Like physically, yeah. And
wow.
So I was like, I can't like with the your baby mama and like I can't. I need a break. And a guy kissed me on that break. And I didn't indulge. I didn't talk to the guy after or anything like that. But he was like, "You cheated," and I'm like, "Okay, well, I guess we're even." Like, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I contended and
say he kissed you, you ain't kiss him.
And I did not kiss him because I don't like. I still, even though we were on a break, I'm still in love with you, dude. Like, I just need a break from you. You know, I'm not trying. I don't want to be in nobody else's space. I'm just not in your space because you're not acting right. You know.
Right.
It ain't no I want to go be with dude. Like, no, this is the guy I thought I was gonna marry.
Hey, for the people that's watching right now and wondering, like, again, you know what I'm saying? I think all my guests are unique. You know what I'm saying? I think you are by far one of the most unique, and this is probably how you on your third interview. You know what I'm saying? You're a unique person, for real. You know what I'm saying? And when I read your post, you know what I'm saying? You talk about some interesting things, and she's recording now, so I know you're gonna break this down and have little parts that you're gonna upload that gonna get hundreds of comments.
Of course, and I'm tagging you for sure. Cause you know why? Cause I feel like conversations like these. I mean, when we talk about certain things, it benefits the people that's watching.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I definitely believe that somebody somewhere is always going through what you're going through, and I think I made it this far by you know, like my knees. You know, I just had my second knee replacement. And I made it on 2 bad knees with the simple fact that somebody somewhere ain't got no knees.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody somewhere is in a wheelchair, wish they had knees.
Right.
So you don't see me complaining much. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of see the same energy in you to a point that, you know what I'm saying, you just do what you have to do.
Thank you so much. Don't make me cry. Cause listen,
I'm trying to make you cry.
No, you know I'm a mush ball. I really am, but I didn't realize that people don't really get, I guess, multiple interviews with you. I didn't think that you thought I was so.
Oh no, you know, again, man, radio is about conversating and personality. You know what I'm saying? Not only do you have a personality, you have a colorful personality. And interesting. You know what I'm saying? And for the record, I don't think you're weird.
Well, that's a relief, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? I think that
thank you.
Again, we do live in a weird world. And some weird things be happening. Man. And it only take what they say, that third eye. You know what I'm saying?
Is that what they call it?
You gotta be able to see with that third eye.
I see with the Holy Spirit. People can see what they want to see with.
For sure.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying.
So, is there anything that we need to touch on that we haven't updated on or talked about, or what's been going on with you on the other side of things?
What do you mean the other side of things?
I mean, you know, everything can't be all just cooped up in the house. You got an outside life, right? Choir.
Speaking about that.
Church.
Oh, you meant
anything
more like general,
yeah.
Well, it's funny that you posed a question like that because because of the guy like trying to kick in my door and like the leasing office was really giving me a hard time, and we just like settled out in court because they were trying to evict me, but it's like you can't evict me. I'm a model. I was about to say citizen, model tenant. You know, I pay my rent every month. You guys don't get any real complaints about me ever unless it's the music. I do like my music a little loud, y'all, but it's not like.
Oh, you be banging your music?
No, I don't. It's just that the walls and the floors are really thin.
Who you be banging? What do Felicia listen to?
Kiara Shear. I love me some Kiki. Shout out to you, Kiki girl. Jordan Armstrong, Steve Rizzo,
How much local talent do you listen to?
A lot. One of my favorite artists that is from here, his name is John Houston. He really makes amazing music.
Mm.
And I feel like people, especially men, I feel like a lot of men could benefit from his music because he makes music, that would please God, but like it's not corny, it's not cheesy,
Right.
and you can actually get a breakthrough just listening because a lot of the things he talks about is a lot of the things that we deal with, on a regular, on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
So I'm banging it all.
I'm a big fan of gospel music too, whether you know it or not.
Really?
Huge fan of gospel music. I love gospel music.
That's awesome.
I was gonna ask you, have you ever attempted to sing in church? Like, did you try to go that route?
I started in church. I thought we talked about that the first interview. I
Well,
started
this
in
is an
church.
update. This is an update that everybody is watching you.
Oh, I knew. Hey, y'all.
See?
I forgot that quick that we was on the thing. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I started singing in church, and then I veered away, and then I eventually came back, and then, like I said, I don't go to church anymore, but the last album that I was working on with the incredible Jay Brooks, shout out to Jay Brooks, I love you, he's awesome, was a gospel album. But because of the whole situation with like the burglary or the guy trying to, kick my door in, everything had to come to a stop, which is very
Kind of scared your life a little bit.
I was terrified because there was nothing.
So again, I'm trying to figure out like why did you from Detroit? Why didn't you go get you a gat? I'm gonna shoot somebody.
Well, I told you. So because of my record, I can't have.
Oh. Well.
Prior to then,
I gotta know.
Well, see, that's the thing. Even when people don't know, God knows.
Okay.
When we're doing things that we're not supposed to.
She says there's no way in the world she's gonna get around not telling God what's going on.
Because he already know, okay?
Okay, so I'm about to get critical on you now because
Come on with it.
I be frustrated with God. They say God knows,
Yes.
but I be feeling like sometimes he don't see me.
You do?
I really do. I be feeling like, okay, I'm gonna tell you why. You can't find a better person as far as being diligent, patient, monogamous, faithful. You can't find too many people that's better with those type of deals, but it don't stop me from going through all the things that come with that.
Okay, let me put it to you like this, okay? Hear me out.
Okay.
Jesus was the Son of God. He was patient. If he had a woman, he would be monogamous, okay? Kind, loving, teaching, compassionate, forgiving. Basically perfect.
Right.
And he died the worst death that anybody could have died at that time.
You know what? I've thought before.
The very Son of God. So what makes us think that we're going to go through this life and experience absolutely nothing? We were warned that we would. Being Christian and believing in God does not absolve you from the errors, and the trials of life. We suffer in Christ as Christ suffered so that we can get the same, reward as Christ. But as to you and your frustration, you're not exempt. If anything, you're a target because you try to live up to God's standard because your eternity is at stake.
Hey, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't trying to get you to preach or nothing, but it just come out so natural.
Don't say that. I'm sorry. I just want you to
no.
To be comforted, not to be like, oh, everybody go through it. So no, that's not it.
I love the response. I love the response, and I can buy that too. You know what I'm saying? I stopped saying why me and start saying why not me.
Why not
you?
But on both sides of the spectrum, the good side and the struggle side.
Yeah. So again, just using some of my own scenarios. Using my own scenarios, I figure out ways to keep my faith strong, per se. But, you know what I'm saying, with my, with everything that's going on, it's just hard sometimes.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Shouts out to Primo Lingo, just came.
What up, dog?
I'm on interview with Felicia, uh, the talented, beautiful.
Thank you.
So, when the last time you sung in public?
It's been so long that I can. Oh no. 2000 and I want to say 17 or 18. Atlanta with my former executive producer.
And that's what I was gonna say too, man. A lot of people might not know who you are, some of the things you do, but you have actually had the fortunes of being with some blessed artists. Can you give me some? Can you give me some of your resume? Like who? So name me some of the artists that you'd have had the pleasure of working with, or being around, or hanging out with, or whatever.
Well, I would say one of the most memorable is Elijah from Mindless Behavior. I never would have imagined that I would have gotten that call because at the time I think they were signed to LA Reid, or my executive producer got the call from LA Reid, and we ended up working on their Return album. But unfortunately, the songs that we
Mindless Behavior. Is that what Reverend Rail's son?
I'm sorry.
Mindless Behavior. I'm talking about, is that the group with Reverend Rail's son, the kid that was in that group?
What's his name? Possibly.
I don't know. I want to see her.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You just taught me something new. I didn't know Reverend Son was in the group. But
Well, I know he did a song with a Elise.
Yeah. And then they switched some of their members and everything since
Yeah.
they had
And
originally
they
came out
grown now,
and
they
moved.
was
Yeah,
kids.
they were real grown. Like when we were working on the album, they were singing about like sex and stuff. I'm like, whoa, these ain't the boys that wait, what we writing? You know what I'm saying? Like what we doing? I'm like, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? And actually I was called to work on the album twice.
Right.
Because my executive producer, he was like, yo, I got a call, Mindless Behavior, they working on the project, I want you to write, yada yada yada. And when I heard like, you know, what kind of direction, I'm like, I can't do it. And then a couple months later, I got the call again, and it was like, all right, we just want you to be a part of the project. So I was like, okay, you know, cool. And I actually got to meet Elijah, and he's a really fun, really sweet, well, at that time, like, kid, but he's like grown now. So, we recorded for a while. Like, we recorded for a couple months, and, we submitted the songs and everything, and then we found out that our songs were beat out by R. Kelly. So it's kind of like,
So
all
if
right,
you gonna
okay.
beat me, it better be R. Kelly.
It was R. Kelly that
Right.
beat me, okay?
Right.
So, but yeah.
That's dope.
That was an interesting experience. But I've worked with some of everybody aside from, you know, Elijah and Mindless Behavior. I've had the opportunity of working with former producers of Bad Boy, Kenny Hickson, Marshawn Dunnigan. I love those guys. I love y'all.
Word. Shouts out to them.
I mean, like, I can't even think, again, like I said, Jake Brooks, he is actually the music director.
See, these sound like executives.
They are.
Yeah, people behind the scene is doing their thing.
Very much.
That's dope.
Very much.
That's dope. Any desire to further your music career?
I want to do what pleases God, whether that involves music or not.
Now you know that's kind of cliche though. I mean, even though you want to do what pleases God.
No, because you're talking to somebody who, if you go on YouTube, you literally see me singing and you see me grow up in my videos from the age of 16 all the way up until today.
I didn't know that. I'm going to check it out.
You definitely do.
Okay.
So for someone to be that enthralled and dedicated in the music, and music is what I eat, sleep, breathe. I didn't work for like 10 years at all. Like, never had a W-2 job because the 8 hours I felt like that I was putting in at a job or would be putting in a job, I need to be putting in at the studio. Like, that's me. I grinded for years. You know, so to sit here today, to sit
you
here
get royalty
today.
check?
Huh?
You get a royalty check?
No, because a lot of the music that I did for free. I did it for the love of it. You know, I wasn't motivated by the money.
Right.
You know, I've written for Faith Evans, 112.
Really?
Yes. Marcus Divine.
You supposed to be rich, you know that.
I am rich. I just don't wear it. I don't wear money.
I mean, you're supposed to at least have a gold plaque or something on your wall or something.
That means nothing to me.
Obviously. Yeah. That's why I mess with her. You know what I'm saying? She's so humble, and so when you look at her page, you be like, wow, some of the stuff you post. You know what I'm saying?
And it's off the know you be looking like, what this girl? You know, some days.
No, I really don't. I usually well, first of all, you had dipped off on me for a minute. And then you changed your name, so it became
Cause it was a lot.
Look, it became who
is that? She looked familiar. Everybody said I got beat up.
I had to go in her inbox like, what's your name again?
Because of and if I can be completely honest with you, that had a lot to do with the spiritual element. Because when people like you peeped it right on social media. You like, she looked familiar, but who was that?
Right.
You didn't recognize me because I changed my name. When things like that happen, it's because there are usually 99% of the time there are spiritual things going on behind your screen that you have no idea about. You and the other 12,000 people that follow me on Facebook. And so when I changed my
you got 12,000 followers now?
like 13 or something like that on
Man, I'm
Facebook.
envious. I only got 5.
Don't be envious. These people be here today and gone tomorrow. You be who
For sure.
you are and they gonna follow regardless.
For sure. Well, look, you came as usual, did your thing as usual. Anything that you want to touch on before we kind of conclude?
Just live life, y'all, and
I want to see you get married and have some babies.
Everybody want to see me get married and have some babies. Y'all need to relax, okay? Because y'all ain't gonna be taking care of these kids.
No, you're gonna be taken care of, but the thing is, you're not getting any no younger. That's what we supposed to.
Okay,
we
but
supposed to
what
recreate.
about this? What if God don't want me to be married?
No, he can't. He can't want you. He can't want you not to be married and have kids.
How you know what he wants? I feel like if he wanted it for me, it would have happened by now. Like, and I'm not saying like this is the end all be all. If he wanted it for me by now, it would have happened by now. And like I said earlier, it is something that I desire. You know, I think every woman of God desires to honor God and serve God in the area of marriage. Like, I do, definitely. But I can't rush him, and I can't just be. You want me to end up marrying a peanut head?
No, I don't. I want you to marry somebody that's gonna love you forever.
Exactly. But I
don't want to take. I don't want it to take forever.
I don't either, and that's one of the.
Do you have your? Is your antenna up just in case?
What do you mean by that?
Like, if I always say, if God sent you the perfect man for you, and let's just say he a walking Jesus,
he
right?
Don't have to be that.
No, I'm just saying he is though. But he might come in the form of gold teeth and gold chains and something like that, to a point that because I'm just saying, I always use this example. What if God send you a man in some Pro Wings, but you looking for him with some Jordans on?
I don't even know what pro rings are, and I'm not that crazy about Jordans either. Like, as long as your heart is right and you love God and you surrender to God, I will love you for the rest of my life.
That's what I meant earlier when I said it's only one me. It's only one me.
You are terrible.
I love God. I mean, it's only one Mo.
Terrible.
And I get in trouble for that because, it's only one me. And because it's only one me, I only got one person. But usually in this life, you get with one person that treat you like it's a bunch of us. Like, you might meet somebody that feel like, I could meet another Felicia. What you ain't special.
And they be calling me 3 months later every time.
I miss you.
Just happened last week.
Did you forgive him?
I forgave him when I left him, but just because you forgive a person don't mean that you have to deal with them. I can forgive you.
We ain't going back that route.
Absolutely not. I don't go backwards.
Wow.
That's not smart.
Yeah. Well, damn. You just don't know. You just psychologically slapped me upside the head.
No, seriously. You can only fumble this bag once. I'm sorry.
Damn. That's a historical point right there, because I went back.
But guess what? You live and you learn.
I learned too. I'm learning.
You were reminded why you left the first time, weren't
you? The sad part about it is they say you're supposed to live and you're supposed to learn. Mm-hmm. And if you do go back, I mean, I feel like I've learned. Mm-hmm. Everybody don't learn, that's what I'm saying.
I can tell you something, Mo. I'm not going to judge you because you went back. That's just something that I have never done and I don't ever see myself doing. Now, that could be my story next year. I don't know. Highly unlikely. But
See, that's why I like her, because she open-minded.
I mean, I'm just saying, I can never say, oh, that could never be me, because I'm not in your shoes, you know what I'm saying? But who knows what test God may have for me tomorrow, or next week, or next year, you know, just to get me to learn a
That's what I'm
lesson
talking
that
about. That
maybe
was a
you're
test I
learning
failed,
now.
huh?
No, but guess what? He didn't give up on you. You here today. So it's not too late.
For sure. And I was about to cancel because I was having problems, but I made it.
Because see, the devil don't have no power over you.
You see what I'm saying? I was having problems getting here, but I made it, though.
You made it, and you here.
For sure. Well, I want to thank you for coming back.
Thank
You know what I'm
for
saying?
having
Another
me.
historical point for me and Felicia, a.k.a. Camille Page, for y'all who looking like, damn, she look familiar. She look familiar.
Hey, y'all. Don't be mad at me.
For sure, for sure. You got any shout-outs?
Absolutely. I want to shout out my dad, my grandma, Rosemore, and Pedro Means. I also want to shout out the incredible Jay Brooks. Jay Brooks has been, I mean, we didn't finish our album, but he has truly been a blessing to me.
Man, big shouts out to Jay Brooks. I think that's like your third time mentioning his name.
I love him, and there's a lot of reasons why, but he's been a huge blessing to me, just, you know, on this journey and in this very fickle place that I'm in, spiritually, and just being understanding to that. And so I'm very, very grateful for him. That's it.
Well, I want to thank you for coming by, and, you know, just like in the past, you know what I'm saying, if you got anything that you want to put on the floor, you want to come in and sit down with Moe DaVon, even if you just want to come in and be a co-host with me, you are very welcome.
Well, first of all, I accept that, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much, but I am moving to Georgia
Oh, yeah, you told me that. When you doing that?
next week.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is you moving to Georgia next week. I just talked to Big Gov last week who moved to Houston, and I'm honored that y'all guys came and saw me before y'all left.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Why
That
not?
is so dope to me. You know what I'm saying? And you about to go to Georgia, where there are probably more opportunities down there too.
I don't know about that. Hopefully, you know,
Yeah.
we gotta be hopeful.
Yeah.
I'm just.
I love her attitude, dog. She just.
move.
Hey, y'all, it's Felicia, man. It's the boy Moe DaVon, man. Y'all tuned in to 1634 the podcast, man. 1634 is the address. I'm gonna make this address popular all around the world. You know what I'm saying? And it's a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Mo.
Thank you for stopping by. All right, y'all. Y'all already know what it is, man. We out of here. Till next time. Peace.